So, welcome to Book Academy December 2024. Um, for those who are joining us on the recording, Jerry Stravey Rhymes with Gravy is on the line. He is just not visible at the moment. So, welcome to everybody. Candy sends her apologies, but she was probably driving back from London in the dark and the rain and all that horrible stuff that we don't have the beautiful weather that you have, Jerry.
I'm very sad for you, but I'm okay with it here.
And also some apologies from David because he is rehearsing. Hopefully, this will be the last time he's rehearsing for a while, and because we're going to be moving to our Tuesday nights, and he'll be able to join us a little bit more. But he is rehearsing for a panto at the moment.
Oh no, he isn't.
Oh, yes,
He
he
is.
is. So, but he has sent in his recording, so I will jump straight away into a word corner for you. So, please let me know if you can see a big black screen.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And welcome, David.
Good evening. Welcome to Word Corner. I'm sorry I can't be with you again this evening, but I am rehearsing pantomime. So you've just got me in the corner again. Let's have a look. Last month we looked at Word of the Year 2024, which for the Collins Dictionary was brat, new redefinition, confident, independent, and hedonistic attitude, inspired by the Charlie XCX album. And Brat Summer became a cultural phenomenon, apparently. So the other words we looked at: brain rot, inability to think clearly caused by excessive consumption of low-quality online content, looks maxing, simply to maximize your physical appearance, raw dogging, undertaking an activity without preparation, and of course, romantasy, the genre that combines romantic fiction with fantasy. And your challenge was to vote for the Oxford University Word of the Year. So did you vote for one of those words? If you did you see the news story? It told you who won, and the winning word was, drumroll, brain rot. Two words here, one word in the Collins, but brain rot was Oxford University Press Word of the Year for 2024. So this month, well, I am at this very time rehearsing for Dick Turpin, the pantomime. Not going on until the start of February, but by the time we get Christmas out of the way and New Year and then get back, we'll only be a few weeks away. So important that we get a lot of rehearsals in before Christmas. It's going quite well. Dances and songs are coming together, and well, I'm doing okay online. Not sure about anybody else, but it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. It always is. So I thought that we would talk about pantomime this month. I know that Abbi and Lady have been talking about Christmas. It's a great Christmas tradition in the UK to go to a pantomime. So in terms of the word pantomime, it comes from Greek panto meaning all and mimos meaning an imitator. And originally in Greek theatre, which is a real precursor of our Western theatre, it was the actor who took all the parts in a comedy play and used different masks to portray each character. That was the pantomime. He was the all imitator, the one who did all of the characters. And in fact, for a lot of people, pantomime is their introduction into theatre. And it was mine. It was the first thing that I remember going to see was Hayley Mills in Peter Pan. And I had to look this up. It was in 1969 at the New Victoria Theatre in London. So it would either have been December 69 or January 70 that I went. And there she is. That's Hayley Mills. That's Peter Pan. So I don't remember a lot about it. I remember going, and I remember that Hayley Mills was in it, but I don't remember a lot else. The first actual theatre performance that I remember seeing was Godspell in London, the original cast, which amazingly had David Essex and Jeremy Irons and Marty Webb and Julie Covington in. that made much more of an impression on me in terms of inspiring me about theatre. Anyway, let's get back to pantomime. So after the Greeks, we go through to the 16th century Commedia dell'arte in Italy, who is really sort of the precursor to what we see as pantomimes and a lot of comedy theatre and performance these days. So the main two characters were Harlequin and Columbine, and there were various personnages as it spread from Italy through Europe, through France, and to England. The main stock characters were Harlequin, who was the comedian. He was the romantic lead. You see him there, dressed in that familiar multicolored costume. Then Pantaloon, who was a greedy merchant of Venice, as per Shakespeare. Columbine, who was the only female of the stock characters. She was Harlequin's love interest, later on often portrayed as Pantaloon's daughter. She was the only one who didn't wear a mask, but she did wear a cap. Clown, who was originally Harlequin's servant and was one of the bit part characters until the role was taken by Joseph Grimaldi, who turned the clown into a much more colourful, much more central character. Grimaldi, the first of the really, well, probably still the most famous clown, who took it off in a different direction and became the centrepiece of the performance. And then Pierrot, who was Pantaloon's servant, portrayed with a white flower on their face to create a white face and a white costume. And again, that branched off into Pierrot troupes in the 1800s, early 1900s, often into the Pier show, the Pierrots. So starting in Greek theatre and going through the Commedia dell'arte branches off into a lot of different areas of British theatre, world theatre, and gives rise to the word harlequinade as we word corner. That part of a pantomime in which the harlequin and the clown play the principal parts. Harlequinade. I'm talking about plays that I went to, that just reminded me, and I had to Google this one again, that I went to see in 1988. Hall Eddington, famous for Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister, in the Browning version and Harlequinade by Terence Rattigan, usually done as a double bill, and that fantastic piece of acting. He was a brilliant actor. Paul Eddington, fantastic to see on stage. Harlequin's bat, so often portrayed with a stick. So really the first time we see the word pantomime is 1716. John Weaver, who was the master of dance at Drury Lane Theatre, advertised a new dramatic entertainment after the manner of the ancient pantomimes. That's the first time we see the word pantomime used to describe this form of entertainment in Britain. And there's Harlequin with his stick, his bat, what he used to do with it is to change the scene. Because one of the characteristics of pantomime is that the scenes change very quickly, and magic happens. Things magically appear, things magically turn into something else. Everything's resolved by magic, and Harlequin would change the scene with his stick and would create the magic by banging things, tapping things with his stick. And it became called a slapstick. Slap things with it. A slapstick specifically is a stick with two parts that slap together. And obviously slapstick is a form of comedy that we still are familiar with today. And bringing it up to date, Harley Quinn is a character in DC Comics. She's a female character, there she is. And she has a bat. She has a baseball bat, bringing it up to date with "Good Night" written on it. So Harlequin coming through there into the different forms of theatre. So why is pantomime important to theatre? It really pays for the year for a lot of theatres, for professional and amateur theatre. So many people go to pantomime in this country that it pays for the year. So at Lincoln, at the Theatre Royal, their pantomime this year is Snow White, with Louis Smith, the gymnast, and Amelia Lilly, who was once a contestant on X Factor. So B-list celebrities, probably be kind to them. But there we are, people that you'd know from the telly. That opens tomorrow Friday the 13th, and they're going to do 44 performances in 24 days. So the Saturdays they're doing 3 performances starting at 10:30 in the morning. And at Christmas they do get Christmas Day off, but they will be performing at 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve, so in the pub sometime between 9 and 10. And then they get Christmas Day off, and then they're back, curtain up, 2:30 p.m. Boxing Day. So it's quite an intense period, but a really important period for the theatre. So a lot of theatres, including the Theatre Royal, this will be a production they put on, as opposed to a touring production. So in Lincoln, it's run by the Theatre Royal, and they will get 100% of ticket sales. Normally, the kind of things that are there during the year, often tribute acts and that kind of thing, they get 15 to 20% of the ticket sales. So not a massive income through the year, but 44 performances, which will be all sold out or very near to sold out, will bring them really the money to keep a 130-year-old theatre going for the year. It's such an important part of theatre these days. I shouldn't feel too sorry for the people in pantomimes having all that hard work to do over Christmas and New Year while everybody else is enjoying themselves, because certainly the ones off the telly paid quite well. So this was back in 2019, but Adam Woodyat, Phil McFadden and Shane Ritchie, all from EastEnders, this is how much they were paid for pantomime. So their big Phil Mitchell off EastEnders got paid £200,000 for a panto run, which is not bad money considering it's not his main job. If you want to see whether he's worth it, you'd need this year to go down to Crawley. He's playing Flesh Creep in Jack and the Beanstalk at the Hawth Theatre in Crawley this year. So, they get a bit of time off from the soap opera to go and be in pantomime. It keeps theatre running. It's fantastic. And they have their own set of awards, the Pantomime Awards 2024. Been running for a few years now, with awards like Best Dame, Best Comic, Best Villain, Best Magical Being, and the Best Sisters. You'll know which pantomime that's from. The Best Sisters obviously come from Cinderella, and this was again a couple of years ago, all that I could find. But the most watched pantos of, this might have been 2020, there's Aladdin at the top, and Cinderella second, Jack and the Beanstalk, Dick Whittington. There we go, down to the lesser performed ones like Ali Baba, an old favourite. Anyway, Aladdin being at the top there just gives me a chance to show some gratuitous pictures of me in pantomime. So in 2019 we did, Eckington Players did Aladdin, and I played Abanazar. So here we are, that was me before makeup. This is me getting a bit of blackening on the old grey beard. That's my daughter. My daughter was in it in the chorus, and she put the mascara on my beard so I could be Abanazar, a wicked Abanazar. It's fantastic fun. One of my favourite ones to do. So pantomime, and now a joke. While I was researching this presentation, I went to the library to see if they had a book on pantomimes, and the librarian said, "Yes, it's behind you." That's about the standard of pantomime jokes. Sorry.
That's amused, David.
You know why I like pantomime. Anyway, Snow White. Snow White is going to be a judge on Strictly Come Dancing next year. Well, she is the fairest of them all. And finally, why was Cinderella dropped from the football team? Because she was running away from the ball.
No.
Perhaps because her coach was a pumpkin. Anyway, Joe, I'll stop. Your challenge, go and see a pantomime. If you're not booked in, go and see a pantomime. It's so important to theatres, whether it's amateur theatre, whether it's professional theatre. If there's one near you, go and see it. It's great fun. Join in, shout, boo, hiss. Shout, it's behind you. Laugh at the unfunny jokes. Just join in. It can be a great experience, and it keeps theatres going. And if you do go, post a picture of you at the pantomime. And if not, you can't make it, share a panto-worthy joke, even if it's out of your Christmas cracker. So we go, word corner, pantomimes. And I will be back shortly for Word of the Month.
Good.
Brilliant. Has anyone already been to see a pantomime?
Hey.
Better than that, we actually
You haven't.
Oh,
we
yes,
have
we have.
a pantomime cast member staying with us,
Oh, right.
and they
Excellent.
told us something very interesting. So whenever Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is on, do you know the names of the seven dwarfs?
They're the usual ones.
No.
Ah.
Disney holds the copyright on the names, and so they have a separate set of seven names for the dwarfs.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Some do that sort of thing, but Goody, Loopy, Lazy, Growler, Noisy, Shabby, and Cheeky.
Oh,
And
fabulous.
our dwarf that's staying with us is called Cheeky.
Right. Well, Abby's the wicked Greta the
Greta
Goblin,
the Goblin at the
Wait,
moment of
wait.
Panto.
which is on this week and playing to sort of 2 to 5-year-olds, really. So it's not a pantomime geared at adults for children to enjoy. It's the reverse.
It's more up to about sort of 9, 10-year-olds because it's aimed at the sort of early key stage 2 market. So during the week, it's the schools are visiting. Yesterday we had about 250 children in, and then similar audiences throughout this week. And then on the weekend we've got 2 performances on Saturday and 1 on Sunday, and they had 1 last week. So yeah, it's really good fun. So I'm just waiting for some photos to come through because we've done some publicity photos and I haven't had them sent through to me yet to put on my socials. But as soon as they come through, I'll share them with you.
And we've also had Hayley Mills's sister, stay with us while she was in a performance in Sheffield. So
Do you get free tickets when they stay with you?
we can do, but we don't choose to because I already get heavily discounted tickets, and the cast only get a certain amount that they can give away.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'd just like to point out though that I have not been paid 130k to I'm doing it out of the love of theatre.
I don't think our cheeky's being paid that either.
No.
Uh,
Okay.
but
Well,
apparently his claim to fame is his dad's an Ewok from the film.
The seven dwarfs are happy with their food and lodging.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to move on now because we have a book to discuss, but before we look at the book, I've got a little introduction to advent calendars for you. So are you all able to see
Yes.
Christmas Mystery advent calendars? Fantastic. So I've done a little bit of research on some advent calendars for us. Did you know that they originated in the 19th century in Germany with some devout Lutherans? Now, the church had been obviously celebrating Advent for a very, very long time before this, and they used candles as a way, lighting them every Sunday before Christmas, the 4 Sundays before Christmas, and then the white one in the centre on Christmas Day. But other people decided they wanted to do it more than just the Sundays, and they started doing chalk marks on their doors or just above their doorways, a little bit like they did with the Epiphany at the end of after the 12th day of Christmas. So lots of tally marks all around church doors in Germany in the sort of like early 19th century. And then they started lighting a candle every day as well. So early advent calendars were marks and candles. But we did start to move forward with this. In 1851, some wooden advent calendars started to appear. Now, this isn't from 1851. I couldn't find a picture of the original one. I imagine it's hidden away in a museum somewhere or no longer around. But traditionally, wooden, painted, hand-painted, artisan type wooden calendars, usually little boxes where you can put your own treats in, which are still very popular today. They also had a printed one. Again, this clock isn't a printed one. It is actually a physical clock, but the first printed one was called a Christmas clock, and they had a hand that was turned around to show how many days counting down. That was in the early 90s.
Backwards as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does look backwards. Yeah, because normally you'd go that way around. One would be here, but I guess it's going forward in the way the hand would go. Yeah, absolutely. But we came across the ones we sort of kind of know traditionally as an advent calendar in 1908 with a printer called Gerhard Lang, and he got his idea from his mum. She decided that for him and his brother, she would leave out sweets every day leading in the beginning of December, 24 days up until Christmas. And then he thought, well, I'm a printer, I should do something similar, and then gave us the first advent calendar. We just had pictures with not with doors to begin with, but just pictures. And then it wasn't until about the 1920s where the doors or the windows you open became part of the sort of a surprise. And in those early ones, a little bit like our story, little Bible verses or little stories or little sayings and things were added in as well. So yeah, so I thought it was quite nice, and I quite like a traditional advent calendar because I don't like the chocolate ones because the plastic hides the picture. So I'm happy to have a piece of chocolate as I open a calendar. Then during World War I and World War II, there was a temporary halt due to paper rationing, and it was seen as a little bit frivolous, and paper was needed for some far more important things than a little bit of advent calendar. But slowly after rationing ended, it began to come back again, and it got taken over to the USA, and it then took off all over again. So thank you, America, for really getting it back on track to where it was. Germany has the largest advent calendar in the world. It is in the town of Gengenbach in Baden-Württemberg. I hope I've said that right. I'm rubbish with names like that. But they call it the world's largest advent calendar because every December they change the window displays and reveal a new one every single day. So there are 2 rows of 11 and then 2 at the top in the sort of the roof section, and they reveal them day by day throughout the season, which I think is really beautiful. So I might have to go and visit. I imagine they've got an ice skating rink the other side of the tree where you can't see behind us. So and lots of glühwein and spiced foods, and oh, I'm hungry now just thinking about it. So the world's largest advent calendar, and it's been doing it for over 15 years. So the smallest advent calendar, now also in Germany, it was created by a group of nanotech specialists, and they really got into the Christmas spirit after work one day, and they thought, how small could they make it? So apparently 5 million of these little nano advent calendars could fit on a normal postage stamp.
That's 5 million of them.
5 million of them. That's how tiny it is. It's been really, it's not, they don't open as such. They've been sketched on. But yes, they are incredibly tiny. And at the bottom here, it says a Merry Christmas wish from Nanonic, which was the company. But it's in German. So that I couldn't get a better quality picture of that than that. But I just thought 5 million of those on a postage stamp was quite amazing.
That's as much as, the amount of angels can dance on a pin.
5 million, possibly. And nowadays, there are, if you can think of it, you can have an advent calendar of it. And I've just got a few popular ones that are out at the moment in the UK. We've got 24 Days of Tea from Adagio Teas. This one is a coffee one. So you've got different sachets of coffee. A spices one from Fly by Jing. Chocolate brownies, different flavour every day, different fancy chocolates. This one's from the Biscuiteers, different cookies every single day. Bon Maman, who do the preserves and marmalades. They've got a different one every day. If you're really into your protein bars, you can have them from Bear Bell's protein bars. Whiskey, gin, Vogue have got their beauty product ones, and they donate a lot of their proceeds to charity for their rabbit calendars, which I think is good. James Bond, Formula One Red Bull team also getting in on the action. The Grinch, I quite like the idea of this one, that you get a different piece of this model every single day and you build it up. This one here is a little gramophone. Dennis has got one of these, was it last year?
Yes.
And you put a little gramophone record on it, press the button, and it sings you the song. You've got a different, and it works both sides, and it sings a little Christmas melody for you every day. A jigsaw puzzle one, so you every day you get a few pieces. I know someone who's got this, and they get a little bit over here, and they get a little bit over here, and they get a little bit over here, and it's not what they thought it was, and they're getting very frustrated with it. So it's quite interesting, but they have to wait for the full 24 days to have the picture fully revealed. And then an escape room advent calendar. Lady, do you want to talk about this a little bit more? Because you've done something similar with Candice on this one.
It's an actual book, which is rather nice. And Candy's got that because our tradition is for them to have an advent calendar each year. And that was Candice's. And she's saying it really makes them think. It's not an obvious one at all.
Fantastic. So I'm hoping to get it afterwards so I can try and do it as well. And then just for David, because I know he likes his dogs, you can don't forget your furry friends. They can also have a dog-friendly advent calendar. So there we go. So what unusual advent calendars have you received this year or in the past? So I will show you mine quickly. I have got it's a little wooden frame, and then I have a little card which I change every single day. I turn it round, and it started on the 16th of September.
It was 100 days.
100 days till Christmas. So a different picture every single day, and it just sits on my little stand. I love it. Anybody else got calendars?
Yeah, I've got the train one. I put it in the chat. I've got a little wooden train. It's downstairs. I'll get it during the break and show you. But it's got little drawers. You fill it yourself. We fill it every year, usually. This year we haven't, funnily enough.
Oh.
But normally we do. You can put, I don't know, you can put anything in there that will fit in the drawer, really. Some years Jeff's done it for me, and I didn't know what was in there, and he's put things like little stud earrings in there and all kinds of things, you know, some chocolates or whatever, sweets. Yeah, just anything that will fit in the drawers, really. And it's quite nice when somebody does it for you and you don't know what's in there. So it's quite nice.
We used to have a pop-up one that was a little cottage that we got from our German cousins, and you could open doors all the way around. Some were windows, some were the doors, and in the roof. But over the years, being a cardboard one, it kind of fell apart. So
Sweet though, sounds lovely.
We used to have an advent calendar village, and there were 24 houses that were made of paper printed out. They were designed in PowerPoint, and in each one was a bit of a Lego model, and you didn't get the instructions until Christmas Eve.
We're still on Christmas Eve together. Nice.
I've got
our village. They have.
Sorry, Sue. Carry on.
In our village, they have people within the village put something in their window that is visible at night time, so it can be illuminated. And so it used to be a different theme for each house, but it got a bit difficult getting people to volunteer to do them. So this year there are just two themes. One is Angels and Bells, and the other is Tidings of Great Joy. So if you go out in the evening, you can see the best day to go is obviously the 24th, and then you can see them all. But yeah, and I'm amazed how creative some people are.
Excellent. My advent calendar this year is a packet of seeds a day. So today's seeds were forget-me-nots.
Lovely.
Hmm.
Sounds lovely.
Fab.
What's your advent calendar this year? Dennis,
Was
you
that
awake?
me? Yeah, no, just checking that was back 'cause it broke up. I've got socks. I open a box and there's socks, and socks. This is not as though I don't have enough Christmas socks already, but I've got more. But that's good. It's fun. We've got so many Advent things in the past from little villages that came in cardboard. You had to fold them together a bit like origami and then build the village as you went along. And Abby made us each a personal one before windows had opened each time, and that got flattened every year, or gets flattened every year. We haven't uncovered it yet because the boxes still aren't all in the house, but we'll get there.
Fab. Right, I am going to assign people to their rooms to talk about their the book, The Christmas Mystery by Jostein Gaarder. So I look forward to hearing back from everybody. We'll have about 20 minutes. So we'll come back at 8. So we are running over a little bit. So we'll come back at 8 o'clock and remember to scribe somebody.
Yeah, I could possibly end. Right, I'm going to be back in a minute, but do carry on without me, Abby.
So welcome back. And I literally left the breakout room to Jerry saying Panto is a weird British addiction, which is classic. Love it. So I am going to go to Dennis's group. Who was scribing for you?
Dennis.
Ah, so that was Dennis, Sue, and Heather, wasn't it?
Sorry,
Yes.
coughing away, mad. We planned that because we've got to scribe. To be honest, so we're going to do it collectively.
Okay.
Well, as I said to Heather and Sue that I enjoyed the book, but this is the second time I've read it but I'd forgotten we'd read it before. So although I really enjoyed it, and some of us like the phrase to Bethlehem, and some of us don't, because poor old Heather had it on a audio recording, and it wasn't the best thing as part of the audio recording. So I'm just going to mute and let Heather describe that bit a little.
I think it was because the audiobook I had, it's a Key Stage 4 book. And so the reader was reading to a Stage 4 listener. So it was very slow. I had to put it on double speed so I could actually kind of keep up with what was going on. And of course, every time we got to Bethlehem, to Bethlehem. That's my best sort of
rendition.
That's really interesting.
It sounds quite aggressive.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
When I heard it in my voice when I was reading it, to start with, it was I could almost hear a childlike voice. I know it's an adult saying it in there. And as time went on, I found it quite, oh, here we go, to Bethlehem again. But at the start of it was quite chirpy, to Bethlehem, here we go, and really light, not heavy. And it sounds like it was quite heavy what you heard.
I think it's because it was at the end of a sentence and to stop the conversation and move on.
Yeah. Get on to the next bit of the story. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can't say I enjoyed reading it. I think it was a very interesting concept. And there are many layers to it. So if it were children, we were comparing it to David's rendition of pantomimes, that children enjoy it, but they don't necessarily enjoy the subcurrent that the adults appreciate. So I don't think I admitted that I had to read the last 2 chapters again because I got a bit mixed up as to which story was the likely one and what have you. I think what what I did like about it was the almost the yeah, I'll use the word naivety of them sharing, opening the calendar together, the fact that they were coming together and that they were all involved in that after his secret was out about what was dropping out of it. So, and there was a bit of mystery in there in terms of detectiveness. Um, it had its point, but it's not one of the best books I've read this year, would be
I
my
enjoyed looking
summary.
at Google Earth as well and following the path and looking at it, whereas I think Sue hadn't done that and wish she had. So we could follow it a little bit more as to where they were actually going and what the route was. And I did like the sort of development of Christianity as they were explaining each event and place.
Wow.
Hmm?
Anything else from your group?
Well, we talked a whole pile of stuff about Christmas and Christmas trees and whether Norway has a slightly different,
Decorations.
yeah, decorations and so on.
Any particular details or
Or talking about fasting, for example, and whether or
fasting?
not, yeah, whether or not people still fast before the 12 days and whether people celebrate the whole 12 days or take their tree down on Boxing Day because they've had it up since September.
Along with the Brussels sprouts spoiling away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll move on to ladies group then.
Whose group?
Yours.
Oh, ours. Okay, over to you, Chris, then.
It's my group. All right. Uh, yeah, I didn't mention this in the group, but it's just occurred to me. A friend of mine walked from Bristol to Jerusalem, and so he was away for quite a long time, and he had to be in Jerusalem for Good Friday. Uh, and the thing I remember most about it was, well, two things. One was when he got lost in the mountains somewhere in the middle of Turkey, and it was sort of 4 foot of snow, and uh, and he saw a light in the distance, and he went to that, and it turned out to be a Turkish pub or the equivalent of a Turkish pub, and he plays the trumpet, so he went in and played the trumpet, so they gave him food and drink for that. But he also had to cheat because he discovered that Turkey was a lot bigger than he'd anticipated, and wasn't going to get there for Good Friday unless he took a bus or a train. Uh, so yeah, I thought the journey was better than the destination. I think would be my um, comment. And I really two things that disappointed me, apart from the usual inaccuracies about the Christmas story. There's no stable, there's no donkey. The three wise men don't arrive at the same time as the shepherds. They're even in different books. It just but beneath that there was another thing I took issue with towards the end, and that was when it turned out that everybody had a part to play. They had to rehearse the script, and so suddenly it became a rigid. There was no freedom to respond to what was happening in your own way. Everybody was a sort of puppet, and that didn't seem right to me at all. And the other thing, the explanation of what happened to Elizabeth, I thought was completely random. It introduced an issue about Palestine that hadn't really been mentioned. Maybe it was in a subtext which I missed. And so some Palestinians kidnapped a little girl in 1948, took her to Palestine, and then dumped her there. Why? It just didn't make any sense. But the journey itself, I thought was quite entertaining, and we should bear in mind the book was translated from the Norwegian,
Yeah.
And I think it's actually, I think as a children's book, in terms of the writing, it works. It's very clear, very simple, sort of easy to follow, except that you've got to keep track of all the different characters. Have I covered everything, lady?
Yeah, I pretty much think so. And then we went off on our own Christmas
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We.
tangents talking about the night before Christmas or the letter to St. Nicholas and development of Santa Claus. And as Chris said, the idea was with Christ Mass is that you fast up until Christmas and then you feast for the 12 days, which has got lost in the melee of commercialism. So yes, that's where we went with ours.
But nevertheless, though, that one way or another, somebody's going to ask, what is all this about? It's really about Jesus' birthday. Oh, tell me about that. I remember my father-in-law did call everybody, and he was not a believer at the time. He said, don't forget, people, this is Jesus' birthday. And from then onwards, he took a path to be saved, actually, a couple of years later at Christmas. So God will do whatever he's going to do with all these commercialized events and whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a great time for us to be able to remind people of that. Although I have yet to find a Christmas a Christmas sock with a nativity scene on it. I'm still looking.
Challenge. Okay, moving on to
Size 8, please.
Bruce. You're our scribe.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
You were our scribe.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I think the summary that we did have was that it was more joyful than last month's book. An idea that it was nice nighttime reading, one chapter a day telling the Christmas story. But looking at the length of the chapters, it's quite a lot of text to be reading one whole chapter every night. But clearly people do it. Yeah, not an adult book. One of the comments was John the Flowers seller's arrival was a bit random. I'm not quite sure what his role actually was. Ending was not particularly strong, although the description of the geography was quite interesting. So there were some charming elements, but it wasn't it's not one of literature's greatest successes, I don't think.
Has it inspired anyone to write their own Christmas book?
Wouldn't really say it was inspirational, was it?
Possibly inspired to do a better job, maybe. Yeah. We did talk a little bit about the sort of imagery behind it and asked about the 7 sheep, and Bruce quickly researched about the 7 ewes being set aside by Abraham, and there might be more to the detail within the story that is lost without any sort of knowledge of the Bible. We talked about in everyone else's version, it seemed to have 3 icons, or Bruce's maybe 3 icons of a church, a sort of house
building and a sheep. Yeah.
Every after to Bethlehem, it was the same 3 every time.
Yes.
So and we were wondering whether it was a deliberate thing. My version seems to have far more pictures than anyone else's as well, so it's quite good.
I did wonder if maybe the author had hidden some clues in his story that are nothing to do with the story whatsoever, but are actually something that entertained him, and that maybe someone. I did actually Google what are the answers to the Christmas mystery, but nobody had actually discovered whether there was any actual hidden map in there at all.
But you wouldn't expect Easter eggs in a Christmas story, would you?
Oh, very good. Yes.
So I would have liked to have the calendar along with the book. I would have a physical calendar with the book. I think they've missed out on some merchandising with it. with the actual little stories and things inside the calendar, maybe.
More commercialism.
No, well, it can go to charity. I don't mind where it goes. Right, I am going to put a pause there on the feedback unless anyone has anything else they desperately want to share about this book. But I think most people feel that it's okay. Let's look on to the next one. So we are going to stop for a quick break. We'll come back at 8:20, 2020. But while you're away, the pondering point I have for you is what books do you hope to get for Christmas? Okay.
See you on the other side.
And if anyone around you doesn't know, make sure they know. See you at 20 past. I have just been reminded to do a photo, so if you haven't got your books nearby, grab them. I was just waiting for a couple more people to come back.
Looks like we've all got very similar. It's just yourself that.
Mine is quite old. I was saying I've had mine for 14 odd years, I think. So I think we're all here now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Just Michael.
I'm here.
Everyone's here. Okay, let me do this. Okay, let's all say Christmas.
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 Yay, done. Thank you very much. So, welcome back from your break. We're looking at Pondering Point. What book or books do you hope to get for Christmas this year? So, Heather.
Well, I know I've got something cinematic and opulent under my tree, still wrapped and waiting for me to open on Christmas Day. But I'm actually kind of hoping that's it. Yeah, like that. Yeah. I'm kind of hoping for Salman Rushdie's Satanic Verses. I think I should read it.
Well, if you don't get it, I've got a copy and you can have it.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that would be wonderful, Chris, because it crops up in arguments, and you're like, now I always like to hear both sides. And so I think it's time I read that, because I have read the Bible as much as I could. I've read the Quran as much as I could. So I think it's only fair that I carry on doing that, you know.
Absolutely. Chris?
Oh, I'm not really. Well, unlike everybody else, I open my parcel when it arrives, so I'll
You
keep
can
the
share
powder
it if you
dry.
want to.
Well, I'll wait until everybody's got theirs opened, and then we can all share them together. But to answer the question, I did buy myself a Christmas present, which I've been meaning to buy for a while, and I shall show it to you. There we go. It's huge.
Wow.
Oh, that
And
looks
it's a modern translation, and it's annotated. The translator, and this is a translator from. Some of the stories are in Arabic, and some are in French with Arabic roots. So, and the ones in French include the ones that everybody is never quite sure whether they belong, like Aladdin and Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. But there's quite a strong argument in the introduction for including those in the stories. But the the translator is Yasmin Seal, and she is an Arabic poet. But she's also a poet in English, so she's able to translate, well, not just the poems in the text, but the poetry and the prose writing as well. And a lot of it is about getting away from the assumptions the early translators like Richard Burton and Galland and so on, the sort of assumptions that they made, which was to exoticize everything, and because Orientalism was in vogue in the 19th century. So it's stripping all that away and getting back to the basic stories. So I've only just read I've only read the introduction so far, and
We can finish that by the end of Advent.
sorry.
Have you
Well,
finished
it'll be very useful for dropping on mice or anything. It's a good hefty.
Good hefty one.
Great time. Jerry?
I've not really been able to think about what kind of book I would like for Christmas because I just have them, piled up and I don't want to be greedy. And so I just feel very, very pleased with having the opportunity to read different books that get recommended to me by other people, and I get a lot of that. Particularly, I enjoy what we read here because one of the biggest things for me is being exposed to other writers and what they find interesting. Because so that work, it's kind of like Christmas every month for me along that line. And then I've got a couple other books that I'm reading right now that I'm just really enjoying. It's like a gift, My gift, I get a gift like at least once a month with you guys, and then occasionally I have others recommended. So that's kind of where I am.
Fabulous. Bruce?
I don't have any expectations of books for Christmas other than this one, and the label had me intrigued. The 3-word clue is humorous, environmental, and rural life. So I was guessing that it was either a book about Jeremy Clarkson or maybe James Herriot. Just intrigued, so I'm looking forward to opening it. I wasn't sure if we were going to open them today, so if I've got to wait till Christmas, it's going to be even more annoying.
Well, you can open them whenever you like. Sue, Heather, and Kaz, I think you're waiting till Christmas, are you? No, Kaz, I don't know if you said you're going to wait.
I have put it aside to wait until Christmas. Whether I can actually resist that long, who knows?
Yeah, it's my problem.
I'm going down to my family's for an early Christmas next week, so I might take it. Yeah, I might take it and do it then.
Chris was so excited, he just opened his straight away. So okay, but that's the only one you're thinking of. Okay, fabulous. Kaz, any other one?
Well, I've asked for Kindle vouchers, which is what I do every year. My sister-in-law, she's like, we always do that for you, and I was like, well, yeah, because it's really good because I could just buy loads of books because it's like a 25 quid voucher normally, and I can get quite a few books for 25 quid. It keeps me in books for like a couple of months at least. So yeah, no, not really. I think I'm reading Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn books at the moment. So if I had to be specific, because Brandon Sanderson does these incredible lectures on writing. He's a science fiction writer, and he's got these really, really good lectures on science fiction writing specifically. So if you're writing a science fiction book, you should definitely check those out. But I thought I'm listening to these lectures and thinking, wow, these amazing lectures, and then realizing I hadn't read any of his books at all. So I thought, well, actually, although I think these lectures are made, I really ought to check out his books, because if he's a crap writer, then perhaps I shouldn't listen to his lectures. But they're actually really good. So yeah. Before you move on, I actually went to the trouble of getting the advent calendar.
Oh,
wow. It's got 2 carriages. And all these doors. Oh, and the wheel's just fallen off. Look, I've lost a wheel. But yeah, you just open them up, and they've each got a little picture on the front, and you put something in the drawer. So it's really cute, and I get it out every year. And the wheel does exist. It's just that it's come off. There we go.
That's gorgeous.
Beautiful, lovely, isn't it? We just use it as a decoration, really.
I think you should do a little tiny drawing and roll it up and put it in each one.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a really good idea. A little illustration advent calendar.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd buy that.
I like that idea. I'll do that. I'll do that next
Do that. Do little pieces of paper wrapped up behind the door and sell the advent calendars.
year.
All the Christmas animals on their way.
Sue, any books you want?
No, no special wishes really, because I'm kept going by this book club and a few that I pick up along the way that look interesting. So no, I haven't put it on my Santa list.
Mav?
I'm just always happy with any book I get. I know our granddaughter's sort of like, oh no, not another book. And she's only 6, that's what she's getting. But any books that I really, really want, I invariably gift to Dennis for Christmas. So it's win-win.
Sophia did get a joke book she liked the other day, didn't she?
She did.
Yeah. What lady means by gifting it to me? She buys it, she gives it to me, I wrap it up, give it to her. By that time, she's forgotten about it. So
I do that too.
yeah.
Do you have any books you want for Christmas?
I haven't really put a list together from them, like most people. I don't, as you know, get to read all the books that we get down with everything else going on. But for the future, I would like a book on how to build a bookcase. There we go.
That in the bookcase. I've already got one for those.
I know, but I want a specific one. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but that's what I want. Anyway.
How can you have a specific one if you don't know what it is?
Yes.
That's what my grandson wants for his birthday. He asked for a load of books for Christmas. He's filled 4 bookcases and he wants a bigger one for his birthday now.
I've got a book just on building bookcases. I will find it for you. I will wrap it up for you for Christmas. There you go.
Well, I have already got a book for Christmas. My Secret Santa for my drama group. They asked for a wish list on the Christmas gift giving thing you can do now, and this is what I was given.
Ooh, interesting.
A book on macarons. It's got some really lovely recipes inside. So, yeah, that's what I've got already. Yeah.
All pile round Abby's.
Yeah, I love macarons. They're one of my favorite things, but I have to say it never really occurred to me to actually try and make them myself.
Well, I've made some before, and I made them lavender flavor, and they are delicious, but they are quite challenging. So yeah, it's once you get the basic recipe right, it's the piping bit that's the difficult bit, really, more than anything.
I want to know when you're next doing a batch because I will come around.
Yeah.
I just think they look so pretty. It's just they look elegant and just delicious.
I think they always look like yo-yos.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, have a macaron and pool party.
Macaron pool.
That sounds like amazing.
Sounds like
I'll bring my
good
swimming
one.
costume.
Okay, well, I'm going to move on to antics now, really quick. Well, it's not good. It's quite an energetic antics this time. So hopefully it will all work for you and you'll be able to join in and cheer and shout and things. So a little bit extended today. So please let me know that you can see this.
Yep.
Oh,
fantastic. Okay, so my antics this month, and the screen does not want to go. It's a Book Academy advent calendar, and I want to know if you can guess the book behind the window. Now, I was hoping to get you to all choose which window you wanted to go through first, but I've decided I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go through Christmas and New Year in order. So, what is behind the sea? There's a little clue. Any guesses what this might be?
The butterfly effect?
Anybody else want to shout out? That's not correct.
Papillon.
Okay, here we go. There's me standing there holding the clue. Bursting through the silver paper, ready for the chocolate surprise, but it's not it.
Oh, of course.
The crawdadsy.
I thought the mirror was something to do with it, and so I was thinking, well, it could
No.
be that, but then it's got a mirror. So what's the mirror?
It's the silver foil
The
you get in
silver
advent calendar.
foil.
Yeah.
Okay, behind H.
It's that one about the making small habits, isn't it, or something?
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
read. It was
Little
one of the ones that we read, but I can't remember what it was called.
Tiny habits.
Done!
The hang of it already.
Yay!
Tiny habits.
Oh,
For
Algernon.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
for
Algernon,
Algernon.
yeah.
That was for Algernon.
I feel like I should be Mr. Chips here almost, doing like collections.
Say what you see.
Yay!
Hey, well done, Flowers for Algernon.
One of our first books, which I absolutely detested, I have to say.
I really liked it. I thought it was very well written. Chris,
Bones,
any ideas?
Bonesaw, it looks like.
Yeah, Bone and a Saw. What book?
Oh, Hilary Mantel,
Yes,
The Giant O'Brien.
this one. That's it.
It was really hard to break through tinfoil. It's a really good quality tinfoil as well. Yay! Well done.
We were going to do it through a doorway and then decided on what's it? Doesn't
the
have
Oxford,
to cover
the
it up
Oxford
like
Dictionary
that.
story.
Dictionary, lost words,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
Yes,
Last word.
Lost words.
lots of words. Yeah.
Again, trying to break through this is quite tricky.
Mhm. I also thought Life of Pi as well.
Life
of
of
Pi,
Pi.
Yeah,
Because of the drift. Mm.
Fiddle-dee and Fiddle-dum.
Not quite. Book we've read.
Top dog.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay!
Say what you see.
Mm.
Kitchen table and a clock.
Person got given an alarm clock at the age of 5. Had a kitchen table.
Friends.
She used the
Yeah.
phrase around her kitchen table. Who was around your kitchen table?
The Light We Carry by Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
A.
Oh, the
The murder at
chain gang
Christmas.
thing.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, the chain
Chain
gang.
gang all stars. Well done.
Mm.
Yeah, the one that Jerry wasn't going to read at all.
Oh, that was that
Wabi Sabi.
Abbi. Yes.
Have I missed one out?
I
No.
don't think so. There should be 12 there.
I like that book.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
Oh, Somebody and the Six.
Oh yeah, Daisy.
Oh yeah, the Sticks.
Daisy.
Yeah.
Daisy and the Six.
Daisy Jones.
That was it.
Daisy
Yeah.
Jones and the Six. Yeah.
Yay! Well done.
There's got to be, that's my favourite one of any one we've done. The and doesn't work.
Oh, the one with the octopus in it.
This is the
Oh yeah, we all know what this one is. Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah,
I've
Marcellus.
listened to this a number of times now on audio.
Marcellus.
Yeah. Little Marcel the octopus. Bright things.
Remarkably bright.
Bright creatures. Yeah.
This one will be Oppenheimer.
Yes.
Oh yeah, gotta be. Good choice, Chris.
Yep.
God.
Yep, we're going to wait another 5 minutes. Or is it 10 minutes?
No, 3 hours. Boom.
Yeah.
So, there we go.
That was a great book. That was a great book.
It was certainly great, yeah. Huge.
Are you talking size
Great
like your new
big.
book, The Arabian Nights?
Oh yeah,
Has
well
anybody
that was
finished it yet?
Oppenheimer was
Yeah.
just limbering up for
Yeah.
Arabian Nights.
How many words do you think is in that Arabian Nights? Just a guess.
Uh, it's over 700 pages, and I've no idea.
150,000 maybe?
Yeah, something like
200?
that. But it's not something that you read in one sitting.
They've got lots of stories inside the book, isn't it? Like Arabian
Yeah,
Nights are made
yes,
up of
yeah,
lots of stories. You've got Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, and
yeah, and it's the way that they're structured and the inside one another and the
Special name
framing
to that edition
stories.
that you have?
Sorry?
Is there a special name to that edition that you have?
Uh,
Was it written by a sultan for his
it,
harem or
it's
something? Isn't it?
the annotated Arabian Nights, Tales from 1001 Nights, and I'll put the details in the chat. That's probably
oh,
easier because
great.
otherwise we'll be going on until 10 o'clock tonight.
Okay, we're moving on to books in the news. Are you on mute?
I am trying to unmute myself now so I don't cough through everything. Okay, so great, Abby, if you can hop to the next slide, thank you very much. Right, there is a project out there to retrieve Jewish books stolen by the Nazis. An ambitious and international project to locate and recover the Jewish books looted by the Nazis is set to kick off in Israel. Have you seen this book? It's called, and it focuses on tracing volumes from the library of the Hochschule für die Wissenschaft des Judentums. I can't really say that very well. The High Institute for Jewish Studies in Berlin, which was closed by the Nazis in 1942. And they had over 60,000 titles, which were destroyed or dispersed to libraries and private collections around the world. So, if you've seen any of these books, you might want to go and have a look from there. So, project is the initiative of the Leo Baruch Jerusalem Institute and its London counterpart, jointly conducted by the Leo Baruch Institute Friends Association in Germany, and with the funding of the Remembrance. So, Responsibility and Future Foundation. So, yeah, it's amazing things. I know Lady would certainly be disappointed if some of her books were stolen or lost in one way or another. So it's an amazing thing, and of course, it wasn't just books that were stolen and destroyed. So, but yeah, move on to the next one, please, Abby. This lady, former Suffolk school teacher, Vicky Ball, was at an event in Chelmsford, and she sold 2 books. But since then, she put on a book on her X, I still want to call it Twitter, that she had sold 2 books and was happy. And then 24 million views later, 31,000 shares, and she's reached over 740,000 likes, as you can see there, from people across the globe.
Did
As a
they
result,
buy it?
I don't know, but as a result of the extra attention, one of the 48-year-old's books, Powerless, shot up Amazon's teen and young adult fiction chart, much to her surprise. So, things. She works at the University of Essex, and as I said, she was really happy selling the 2 books. But once she posted it on Amazon, she was just amazed and couldn't believe it. So maybe some of our books need to get onto X or somewhere else. It's apparently since becoming a viral sensation, copies of a debut offering have been purchased by book lovers across the world, including America, Belgium, and Colombia. And she's enjoyed reading the messages of support, and it's been generally very positive, and the majority of people have been very happy. So social media can be a really positive place. Let's hope it continues in that way. Next slide, Abby, please. Lively Paintings charity celebrates a social media success. So, a bit like your audiobooks, Heather, a library is out there for the blind and visually impaired children and adults, and they actually paint the books. So, been operating for more than 35 years, been providing free access to their adapted tactile audio picture books to children's families and schools. The volunteers' efforts have now been recognised globally, and with a series of videos showing their work amassing over 6.7 million views on social media. The videos show the volunteers adapting popular children's books, including The Very Hungry Caterpillar, The Gruffalo, Elmer, and Where the Wild Things Are, into accessible versions that blind children can explore through touch and sound. And there are libraries for blind and visually impaired children and adults, as I say. The Living Paintings postal libraries provided free of charge to blind and partially sighted people in the UK, and their special touch to see books are designed to bring the visual world to life through the tactile images and audio descriptions, as I said. So you can find out more on their website, obviously, if you want to do that. But they have a community of volunteers. You can see the paintings might be pretty simple, but if it brings a book or a story to life for a youngster, then that's quite amazing. There's a quote here from a volunteer who's 88, who has been with the charity for more than 20 years. It says, I'm not really used to being in the spotlight, and I never expected that I'd be getting all these lovely messages from people around the world. But it's so nice to see the work of the charity getting this recognition. Volunteering at Living Paintings is a nice thing to do in my retirement, using my woodwork and painting skills for something good, which is nice. So, next slide, please, Abby. One for Jerry, really, over in the US. Costco is closing its book on year-round sales of physical novels of 500 of its 600 stores in starting in January. Which lady likes to have a mooch through the bookstalls in the stores in UK. I'm not sure if it's going to come over here. I suppose it will if it goes that way. But Costco's officials say they're making the shift because stocking books on tables is labor intensive and has to be done by hand. Unlike much other merchandise in the store that can be stocked with short forklifts, and consumers have also turned to buying books on Amazon and not at big box retailers. So that's a drop, but I don't suppose they make that much money out of them either. With this price, some of the prices that they are charging for books are very reasonable in Costco in the UK. Despite the changes, Costco's popular hot dogs haven't had their prices changed. They continue to cost only $1.50, the same as in the 1980s when the stores first opened. So I've had a hot dog or two myself over the time. So, but we'll see. Yeah. Next slide, please, Abby. Combining two of ladies' greatest loves, books and musicals. So, as most of you know, but there's been a run of fantastic film to stage adaptations landing in the West End over the last couple of years. So, and these include, as you can read, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, the Great Gatsby, which opens next year in the West End, Matilda the musical, and Abby is getting ready for her one of her groups anyway to putting on Matilda with a group of youngsters, so that will be quite good, and that's running now in the West End until May 2026.
And
Mrs.
adding the part in the chorus line in April.
Yeah, she does. But that's not
Not
a
very
book. It's not a book. Mrs. Doubtfire, 6 years before Robin Williams charmed children around the world as the cross-dressing nanny Euphigenia Doubtfire and find 1987 children's novel Madame Doubtfire hit the shelves. So obviously, from book to film and film to musical, they seem to be popping up all the way. Perhaps some more well-known ones. Phantom of the Opera, of course. Phantom is a classic in its own right. Story of Christine and the Phantom dates much further
I
back
saw
than
that in the West End.
it's amazing, isn't it? So the French novel Le Fantôme de l'Opéra by Gaston Leroux first appeared as a serialization in 1909. And Andrew Lloyd Webber did a great job doing that. And one more before we go on, because we love dogs around here, 101 Dalmatians. We all know the Disney version, and we've had that, but The original story was published under the title The 101 Dalmatians, and that was back in 1956
Jodie Smith.
by Dodie Smith. That's right. So good. So we've got more coming up, I'm sure, around the corner from books that you know all about. Cabaret is there, Les Miserables is there, obviously some other more classics, if you like, Oliver, and now the latest movie that's just come out, Wicked, of course, much talked about due to the brand new film adaptation. Stephen Schwartz and Winnie Holtzman's musical is one of the most popular productions ever to hit the West End, playing at the Apollo
On
Theatre
another
since
slide.
2006. Pardon?
I just wondered whether we should be on another slide.
No,
Susan,
no, I'm just
no?
talking about another thing, another musical, Wicked, because it's out there and it's going to be. Um, it's already in the cinema, isn't it, now for the next film? So just a bit topical. Last slide coming up next, please, Abby. So as you know, I've been looking around. Oh, that doesn't seem to have changed very much, does it? November UK Picture Book. I should have deleted those because unless it's things. But 1st of January, the PBFS. I've got to try and remember what that stands for now. Publishing Book Federation, something like that. Welcome. They've got their first quarterly online book fair in starting on the 1st of January. So if you wanted to look up PBFA for an online book fair, you do that. The next ones are 1st of April, 1st of July, and 1st of October. But I think it lasts for the month online. So, and they hope there'll be something of interest in there. A wide range of second-hand, rare, and antiquarian books, maps, prints, posters, manuscripts, and other ephemera will be available at prices to suit all. So, you wanted to, all their book fairs, they deal directly with the exhibitor selling the book. So please have a look at that. And another book fair, the 11th of Jan is York New Year, not New York, which I just was trying to do that to things, but that's an established and fairly friendly event with over 100 dealers from all over the country. In York, up in Yorkshire, there's a cafe at the fair, open all day, which offers hot and cold refreshments. So it should be good. And then there's one the 18th of January in Stratford-upon-Avon. I don't imagine we'll be snowed in or sunned in, but all those things are welcome. So, other things for December. Emily Dickinson was born in 1830 on the 10th of December. Jane Austen was born on the 16th of December 1775. And on the 23rd of December 1815, Emma was first published. So there we are. And getting towards the end of the year, the 30th of December is Rudyard Kipling's birthday. Of course, we've had one of his books in previously, haven't we? So, and that's what's in the news for December.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Can I just show people this book? If you can read it.
Can you tilt it down a bit?
I'll open it for you so you can read it a bit better. Actually, it's written in 1948, but I did buy it for someone a while back because I thought it would have all the imperial bits in there, which would be easy to do. So
Moving on, we're running out of time.
I just from our bookshop, bookshelves. Here we go.
You packed it and unpacked it. I didn't see it come back out.
Oh, you noticed that.
Okay, that's enough squabbling, I think. We shall welcome back David's lovely tones. Can you all see his screen?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Hello, I'm back. Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, no, you're not.
Well, I hope that somebody shouted out, "Oh no, you're not." Anyway, let's kick on. Word of the month. So last month's word of the month was abophobia. Abophobia, the fear of palindromes, apparently. And palindromes, remember, can be words, sentences, or numbers. Most often sentences. We looked at some famous ones. Madam, I'm Adam. Abel was I, ere I saw Elba. A man, a plan, a canal, Panama. A few less known ones. Was it a car or a cat I saw? Eva, can I see bees in a cave? and a Santa at NASA. Anyway, your challenge was to share or create a palindrome. Didn't see many, but I did see Kaz doing an ambigram. It's fantastic version of a palindrome. Anyway, this month. What's this month's word of the month? I hear you. Well, I don't hear you because I'm on video. I'm in Great Hell Village Hall rehearsing. But anyway, I would hear you ask, what is this month's word of the month? And it's crinkum crankum. Crinkum crankum. Not a Christmas cracker, but a crinkum crankum. There we go. It's not a thing, actually. It's an adjective. Describes something which is full of twists and turns, something fancifully intricate or elaborate. Fairly archaic word, but still used occasionally. Not enough. It's a fantastic word, crinkum crankum. There we go. First known use was back in 1670. And interestingly enough, other words which first known use was 1670 include aide de camp, brown sugar, cock and bull story. The first time we saw cock and bull story was in 1670. Joke. There we go. We're talking about pantomimes jokes. The first use of the word joke was in 1670. And the word that no author ever wants to hear, unpublishable, was first heard in 1670. First recorded anyway. And that I got from merriam-webster.com/time traveler with only one L because they're Americans and they can't spell properly. Sorry, Jerry, if you're watching. Anyway, you can look on that. You can look when a word first came into usage, and you can look up a year and see which words were first used in that year. So here is some of the words that were first used in the year I was born. Diddly, function key, graphic novel, golden handcuffs, glossophobia, the fear of public speaking, was born in the same year that I was born, as was grotty. There we go. Anyway, words that were first used, first recorded in the year I was born. So let's get back to crinkum crankum, or other versions could be kringle crangle, crinkle crankle, and later developed into knick-knack. Crink, which is the root word of those, was an intricate twist of thought or speech, or a clever deception or sleight of hand. And that word crink goes back to the early 16th century. And its usage has gone up and down over time. This is written usage over time. And you see, it's had a bit of a revival in the last 10 years. More people are using crinkum crankum since about 2010. There we go. It's making a comeback. The crinkum crankum comeback. And it's an example of reduplication. Taking an existing word with a known meaning or a variant of it, add either a rhyming or an alliterative word and repeat the first word. So easy peasy, flim flam, jiggery pokery are all examples of reduplication. And Heather in the WhatsApp this month put an article about ablaut reduplication, which we first discussed in Word Corner back in March 2022. So ablaut reduplication is that in pairs or triplets of words, we use the vowel order I-A-O. So jiggery pokery, flim flam, mish mash ping pong, whiff waff sing song dilly dally. And interestingly, that apparently it's because it goes from the front of the mouth to the back of the mouth, the sound that you make. So tic tac toe, which conveniently has all three. Tick, the vowel sound is at the front of the mouth. Tac, it's in the middle of the mouth, and po or pop would be at the back of the mouth. So potentially that's why we use ablaut reduplication, because it's the order that we use our mouth, interestingly. And it's why we don't wear flop flips, we don't have zag-zig lines, the doorbell doesn't go dong ding, the rain doesn't go patter pitter on the windows, and horses' feet don't go cloppity clip. Because we all, even though we never formally learned it, we all know ablaut reduplication. There are different types of reduplication. So, your challenge, share some reduplication in the WhatsApp or the Messenger group or Facebook page or wherever. Or share a word from the year you were born. Go to merriam-webster.com/time traveler with only one L. Put in the year you were born and pick out a word that was born the same year that you were and share it with us on the WhatsApp group. So I'll be interested to know what words were born the same year as you were. There we are. Crinkum crankum. Just remains for me to say, have a happy Christmas and a book-filled New Year. I will see you hopefully, if not in January, February, definitely sometime soon in real, well, not real life, but live. Anyway, hope you've had a good meeting. Hope you have a great Christmas, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, David, again. Always love that. Crinkum crankum. I'm going to try and get that in the panto.
We will obviously see more of David because that's the reason we're changing to a Tuesday come the new year.
Yeah, and that leads us nicely into members' news. So as it involves all of us, our next meeting will be the 28th of January, which is the last Tuesday of the month. I will be sending out all the dates for you, so you'll have them on the follow-up email that I'll send out tomorrow. But it's like 6 weeks, 6.5 weeks away. It feels like a very long time, but it does give everybody a chance to read the next book and their Christmas mystery book if they've got one, and yeah, really get involved in reading even more than you do already. So January's book is Jodi Picoult's Small Great Things. Here is a picture of a version of it. Small Great Things. Again, I will put this into the email so that you have it if you haven't managed to record it down now.
Has anybody read anything by Jodi Picoult before?
Well, Sue has. Have you read that one, or is it a different one?
No, it wasn't that one. I can't remember now. It was a long time ago. It was about elephants, I think. I can't remember though.
But mine's got a different cover. It's got feathers,
Ah.
white feathers.
I'll be interested to see all the different covers again. Covers are fascinating me. They really do. So, and then looking a little bit further ahead and linking to books in the news, February's book is going to be Wicked by Gregory Maguire.
Yeah, same one.
It was a book made into musical, now made into a film, or half a film at the moment. So, has anyone seen the film yet?
I did.
You have?
Yeah.
In the
I
musical.
saw it in Los Angeles at the Protagonist, what it's called, Protagonist Theater.
Enjoy it?
Yes, I did.
And you enjoy the musical, Kaz?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was great.
You do realise it's only half a
Yeah.
musical.
It's only half musical.
Apparently, part two's coming later.
Next year. Yeah.
When the two main actors have grown older.
The merchandise is out there in readiness.
Oh, it's
all the
everywhere,
time.
isn't it?
Yeah.
What on earth would the merchandise be?
Oh, there's
90
lots of green and
shirts,
pink things with your Glinda, Alphaba.
I didn't see the movie. I saw the play.
Oh, the musical.
Right.
The
All
musical.
right. I haven't seen the latest
It's
film.
the film then with Ariana Grande and Christina Revo.
Doesn't the musical carry it all the way through the book?
The musical, the stage production, is the entire
Yeah, that's what I
story.
thought. Yeah.
The new film that's out,
Yeah.
is only half the story.
Oh, okay.
And then
How long is this book? How long is this book?
this book is 495 pages.
Crap.
Good grief.
Okay. Hey, Chris, did you see where I looked up
Large print.
the book? I'm talking to Chris. The 850 pages on your book could be around 200,000 words.
Oh, is that all?
It's like 5 books.
Okay, right.
Be
Well,
done
not
by
5.
Christmas then.
Yeah.
When you
It's,
say it's annotated, how is it annotated?
well, they use this technique only known to book publishers called footnotes.
Okay,
Mm.
got you.
So, well, they're actually not footnotes. They're
Side notes.
beside notes. I don't know what you call it. Side notes. Would that be? Yeah,
Marginalization.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I
Like
suppose
in
it's
the
sort of
Bible,
official marginalia.
like they do in reference Bibles.
Uh, well, it varies. I mean, my Bible, they're mostly at the bottom of the right-hand page.
Right. Okay.
Mm. So does anyone have any book news happening? Illustrative news?
I
Anything?
do.
Oh, go on then, Jerry. Oh, you've been at your meeting, haven't you?
Okay.
Yes. Tell us about
So
your meeting.
I told you all that I was hired to write this book about the shooting in a synagogue, right?
Yeah.
I am like 80% through. Just got back from the guy who hired me to write it. And a short story, real quick. He told me to write when I wrote this book that um, he wanted like 2,000 words, right? And no, 20,000 words. Well, and he's paying me by the hour, which is kind of cool. And right now I'm at about 52,000 words. So it's turned out to be not a small book, but a standard size book, which I'm very excited about. And so and he's very pleased with it. He just keeps writing the checks. I'm good with that. And so the book has turned out to be quite an emotional roller coaster for me when you're dealing with all these individuals. And I've expanded this book to talk about all kinds of mass shootings and hate crimes against, like the Christchurch Church in New Zealand, the one in Pittsburgh, the one in France recently, what have you, and incorporating it into it. And then anyway, it's a great book. There's great, neat things going on it. And it's been a very expansive for me as a person and as a writer doing this. And my book, Braxton Century Volume 3, that I tell you, I sent that to the editor, right?
Yeah.
And then I started another book called Millennial Moguls Unhinged. So, yes, a lot going on here.
Good.
Wow.
Well done.
Writer's Digest has a contest you can enter till the 16th of December. And so it's only $30 to get into it. So if you're all interested, have anything like short stories you want to put in or poems or whatever, they got it.
You put
Writer's
a
Digest.
link in the chat, Jerry, for us.
Yes, I will have to find that. Hold on.
Cool. Right. Thank you. Anyone else got any news?
I've passed 9 million on my Grammarly. 9 million words since I've been using Grammarly.
9 million words and 9 million mistakes.
No, that's 9 million words analysed. How many
Wow.
words? I don't make that many mistakes, I don't think.
That's a teasing you know.
I know you are. I'm not a very good person for being teased. I never understand when I am being teased.
Right. Fab. We're still plugging ahead with our Book Voyager online learning course that we are trying to encapsulate what we've learned about publishing, and so that people can do an online training course rather than having to listen to us talk at them continuously for 6 months, 18 months. So that's what we're working on at the moment, and hopefully it will be done by June next year. We've got a lot of work to do, but we will get there. So that's what we're up to. It's still going.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot of maths, Chris. Thank you for that. And
Okay, I put the link in, folks.
thank you.
Mm.
Bruce, as I've just reading the chat messages here, says AI was first used the year you were born. That's kind of apt, isn't it, with your AI stuff going on?
I get attention deficit disorder. That was the year I was born.
put these into the WhatsApp group so David can see them as well. Because I know he will have a look back at the email and things, but he might like just to see that we're doing what he's asked us to do as well.
Could you put the link in the chat?
The Merriam-Webster, is it?
I've got the word Downs, as in probably Down syndrome, but it hasn't got
Or it
syndrome.
could be as in Churchill Downs, which is a racetrack.
Well, no, this was with apostrophe S.
Heather, I'm working for you, girl. Come on.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know whether it's Down's syndrome or why it hasn't got that with it, but I'm assuming that's a word that was first
Thank you,
used when
Bruce.
which is interesting. I just thought it would be earlier.
Mm. Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? Certain words when you've been so familiar with them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Or you think yourself are younger is the other
so
thing.
once you're at the link, where do you go to find your birthday?
There's a box that says select a year. At the moment, it's got. And you can select.
I can say, isn't there a box with your birth certificate in?
And I've got antisocial personality disorder as a first word as well. So, Kaz, we're going to work. Which mental health problem came around when you were born?
I've got air guitar. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease is mine. I'm a mad cow.
Like a cow in a field, Bruce.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to look forward to looking through that properly later on.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you everybody for a very enjoyable book academy. We have run over by ways. We were having too much fun, so obviously. So, I look forward to seeing all your opening of your book mystery books. So those people who have got them, I do still have some books. I've had Heather request to see if we have any more. She would like to donate again. You're more than welcome to donate again and get another book. If you haven't joined in and you want to, but you didn't understand what on earth was going on, please, we'll happily go through it again with you and let you know what's happening. But basically, you donate, I send you a picture of a book and some mystery words, you choose, and then we send it out to you. Essentially, that's what it is.
Yeah, I've got audit.
Talk about that.
Sorry, Chris, say that again.
I was just saying, I've got audit trail and bizarrely baby back ribs.
I've just got Austin Powers going around my head now.
Yeah, back to the charity book thing. Jerry, you could pay by Stripe would be a way of doing so if you wanted to donate that way. And we'll send out as part of the report about the charity as well. The Raison.
Someone might have to walk me through on Stripe. I could do Venmo. Do you guys do Venmo?
I've never heard of that.
I have a Stripe account. Usually people give me money on it.
That'll be nice. Change reverse that then.
Yeah.
Not sure about that. Okay. Yeah. Maybe if somebody can you hang on and we can do that?
Yeah, of course we can. Of course we can. So we'll have a fabulous Christmas, everyone, and yeah, get on with your challenges from David and eat on any more tablescapes like we did last year. Gratefully received. You've got new tablescapes from your Christmas displays. Everyone's going tablescape. What on earth's that? That was a word of the year last year for Christmas. Yeah, and thank you for a fabulous year. And we're starting our 4th year of Book Academy next year, which is wonderful.
And thank you, Abby, for your work. It's been brilliant. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
My
See you all
Bye.
on WhatsApp or Facebook.
Yeah. My Christmas wish this year is may you get whatever you've ever wanted that doesn't appear under the tree this Christmas.
Oh,
Anything
Very
you've
good.
ever wanted that doesn't appear under the tree.
as in it's not wrapped.
It's not a wrapped present. You can't wrap it.
World peace.
Yeah.
Another book.
That
Cool.
might be a stretch, Charlotte, but we'll try for you. We'll start it one house at a time.
House at a time. Merry Christmas.
Okay, take care.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.